Hi people, today we're going to be talking about Ghostsmith by Nicki Pau Preto, and I have to say that I did love the first book, Bonesmith, because it introduced like this cool magic system and this cool idea having reapers and valkyrias and necromancers, but in another kind of way that we are used to. So I did love the feeling, the world building, the magic system, the characters on the first book. So I was very excited to get to read the second book. This is a duology. And yeah, for me it was a very satisfying read. I did love the first one best, but this one is amazing. For me, one of the best things on this book is that it's going to be without spoilers. This review is going to be completely spoiler-free, but let's say only that I did love that you have this point in the book in which you are thinking, no, they are going to fix everything and everything is going to be great and amazing, and then you realize that it's not going to work this way. It's not going to be so easy. There's going to be complications and things that they hadn't seen coming, and we are going to have our characters like a split, and I think at this point it's very rewarding for us as a reader, not so much for the characters. You have them facing their own fears. It's like they go these different separate ways in which they have to confront things that they rather not, but you know, ultimately they need to in order to fix everything and fix themselves, if that makes sense without having read the book. So also I did love that it wasn't all of it an easy fix. I did love that we need to, you know, to work different kinds of things into the scene. And I also love that when all is said and done, whatever happens, I am not going to say if they succeed or not, but whatever happens at the end, it's not like, oh, and they live happily ever after. We have these chapters in which they work, different characters work with the things that have happened, and you know, like, and some kind of resolution, and you know, how we are going to move forward from this point on. And I think that for me that was amazing, because it's not something that you usually see in fantasy books. It's like sometimes everything is done and it's like happy ending, and I love that we get presented with this idea that we have to work past it. You know, whatever happens at the ending, we have to move forward, and we have to keep making decisions, and we have to keep working, and you know, and I do love that. So we're going to be finding Wren, Leo, Julian, our bunch of friends. They are going to be traveling to eradicate the magic that the well has, that gives superpowers to people who are jumping. Yeah, it's very basic, but basic. My summary, not destroying. And to ultimately destroy the corpse queen and everything that she has created. And for me, it's amazing. I'm not going to say much more about the story, you have to read, but for me it's amazing that Nicki Pau Preto creates these dysfunctional families. For me, it's very important that you have not the typical happy family where everyone loves everyone, but you have this kind of families where you have people wanting to, you know, to be noticed, to have aunts or parents or whatever looking at them and recognizing their own worth. And here you have people who have been trying to do this for all her lives, and you know, trying to be to cut themselves into the shape that their parents, uncles, whatever, brothers, sisters, whatever, they were expecting them to be. You know, trying to fit themselves into this one size fits all, and realizing that no matter what they do, they are not going to get the results they want, because they are not the problem is the other side. And I love to have these people growing into themselves and being able to, more successfully or not, you know, so you have to read the book, you know, find the absolution. And I think that when you have this kind of family, this kind of dysfunctional family, having it reflected in a book, it's very useful, because when you read books with happy families where everyone loves everyone, all the time, it's like very tiring. But you also realize it's not your normal. So seeing your normal in a book and learning that, reading about that you're not the problem, that the expectation doesn't fit who you are, and maybe it's a reflection of the person casting these expectations and not who you really are. I mean, it's amazing that we have these kind of things. I love that we have Leo, who is a spare. You know, he is so far removed from the crown, and he has always been seen as nothing else than a spare, and he has lots of potential, he has lots of things to offer the world, and he's a character that I love a lot. I mean, I want a spin-off, but I mean, having him seeing for himself what he can be able to, that's amazing. Also love Julian because he's very, you know, he has been like abused, you can say, and being told that he's not enough to the point of having his hand removed and changed for a metal one. More into this in this book. And I love that he also realizes that he's trying to fit into a mold that's not who he is, and he's never going to be able to fulfill crazy expectations that make no sense whatsoever. And Wren is our main character. Oh, Julian and Wren? Yeah, Leo. All of them, for me, are like main characters. I love how well developed they are and how many traumas and things they have to overcome. Let's talk about Hawk too, Wren's twin brother. I mean, all of them are so fucked up by their families. And I was talking about Wren, but I got sidetracked to Hawk. I mean, I don't love that he has suffered so much, but I do love that it makes sense. When you are reading, you understand where he comes from, why he is the way he is, and I love what he does in this book. And as I was saying, coming to realize who you are, despite the people who wanted to change your shape into something that fit their desires. I love how powerful karmatic experience this is for some of the characters who, you know, when they get to overcome all those trappings they put it in, you know what I mean. And Wren, I love how far she's come, and I love how much farther she's going to come in this book. And she comes from a father that never really notices her for who she is, and it's like she wants to prove herself so badly, but it's as I said, I think it says more about the projections of the parents and the family members, that they want them to be a certain way that they cannot ever be. And for me, there's an amazing plot with revenants and corpses queens and leeches and ghosts and whatever. It makes you think about, you know, slavery and using people as tools and animals and familiars and all of this. But for me, the amazing plot was how these different families were dysfunctional families, and how it affected the growth of these characters, and how they can or cannot overcome, you know, those things that have been put on them all their lives and that have shaped them, and whether or not they're able to break up from these chains. I think that this sentence makes sense. So yeah, I mean, this is an amazing book. The world building keeps on being amazing. The story is amazing. I did love the plot. I did love the resolution. I think it's very fulfilling, and I did love the characters so much, if you hadn't guessed by now. So I recommend it to you, whether or not you have read Crown of Feathers, the trilogy that Nicki Pau Preto wrote before. I think that you're going to love this one. And yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye.